Okay, so very good evening, everyone. Today we will go through the week 3 content and possibly we will solve all the previous year questions which were given in previous year assignment of week 3. So let's take 2 minutes and wait for others to join, then we will start. Yeah, good evening. So in week 3, basically, there were two things which were covered. Uh, so in that, first is the relational algebra, then basically the procedural and non-procedural way of writing a query uh, is the things we have to cover today. Related to them some examples. So the basic thing is the relational algebra, in which we write some rules, or we can say queries, based upon the tuples or data we want to fetch, and it is basically a procedural query language as taught in the lecture. So we have to provide some of the rules, we have to write each of the rules based upon which we want to retrieve the data. And second thing is, after that there were two things more. Those were tuple relational calculus and domain relational calculus. So these two are non-procedural way of query languages. So in these three ways, we just want to write our queries, and based on queries we want to retrieve our data. The next thing covered this week is ER model, okay, which is called as entity relationship model. Okay, just a second. So in AR model, we just want to create a portrait of what things we want to create as a database. Like in relational model, we just create tables and relations between them. In AR model, there are entities which are indistinguishable, and uh, based on attributes, we want to distinguish them. And there are entity sets, those are having all the entities. Then there are relationship, then relationship sets. All these things are covered basically in the lectures. So today we will go through some of the questions related to these topics. Okay, so this 6-3. So I think we should start, because those who have to join will join later. Yeah. So coming to the first question, these questions are basically asked in the previous year assignments and closely related to this year assignment questions also. So just consider the relational algebra expression on these given instances. There are two instances for dishes and the dips. Okay, so in dishes, what we have three tuples. Then sorry, in dips we have three tuples, and in dishes we have six tuples. And what we have to do, we have to perform this operation and provide the output. Okay, so it is written in simply relational algebra way. Let's solve it. So first, what it is telling, there are let's go through one by one. The very atomic thing is price. Okay, so given, select, we have to select the price which is greater than 100 in dips. Okay, so just figure out go to price. Okay, in price, basically In price there are three prices. First is 200, then 150, then there is 80. So we have to select for greater than 100. Okay, so these two are the prices which are greater than 100. Now we have two tuples having satisfying this condition. Next, what we have to do, we have to go out of it and perform next operation. It is telling select project price and rating. So we have to select price and rating. Okay, so we have this thing, and from first condition we have this thing. So what we are remained with, we have price, rating. Okay, we have 200, then 150, then 5, then 5. Now in lectures it is told that it is if it is x and z is equal to, and this consists of x and y, so we have the next relation which has x and y. So we have to just take y from here, sorry, x and y. We have to take x from here, we have to select the common things, and based upon which we have to just retrieve y from here. Okay, that will be our z divided by y, z divided by x. Okay, now coming to the question, what it is telling, we have to perform division from dishes. Okay, so we have to just go to the dishes and we have to search for these two things. Okay, 205, 155. If it is there with some additional attribute, then that will be our final option. Okay, yeah, let's select. So if you will closely look at it, we have 200 here, then 150 here. Rest all are not actually matching with this uh, these two tuples. Okay, so 200, then 5, 150 and 5, and there is the tuple having these two condition based tuples. Okay, yeah, you are right. So everyone joining this, please solve with me and comment the correct answer in the comment section. Okay, so we have these two tuples which we got with this condition. Okay, or predicates, set of predicates. Okay, now what next we have to do, we have to project name from here. Okay, we have to project name from here. So what is name? We are getting name pasta, then pasta. We have already learned that if there are duplicate attributes, we perform deduplication in case of projection. So we will left with pasta only. So answer will be B. Okay, very simple. So coming to next question. Okay, here they are telling we have to perform these expressions and we have to just come with the answer which returns only cheese and hummus as outputs. Okay, okay, we can go one by one. First thing is uh, okay, coming to the first option, what it is telling, we have to perform dips 1 which is renamed version of dips and with the dips only. Okay, so what will be there, consider dips 1 and dips is given there. Dips 1 is having same three things. Okay, so we have to perform dips 1 Cartesian product dips. So how many attributes will be there? Can you comment? Okay, there are three attributes: name, then price, then rating, then d1 dot name. Oh, sorry, d1 dot name, because it is performing Cartesian product from dips1 to dips. Okay, so d1 dot name, d1 dot price, then d1 dot rating, then there is name, there is price, there is rating. Okay, so there will be cheese 205. It will be there with all three possibilities: cheese 205, then hummus 200, 155, then salsa 84. Similarly with the hummus 155, it will be multiplied by all these three. Next, salsa 84, cheese 205, hummus 155, salsa 84. Okay, it is performed. Now we have to select dips1 dot rating is greater than dips dot rating. Okay, so dips dot rating is 5. For 5, dips1 dot rating is 5, then we have to select for uh, all the things which are okay. Dips1 dot rating is 5, so is there anything which is less than 5 in this relation? So if we see, this is dips1 dot rating side, this one, and dips dot rating, this is the dips dot rating. So if it is 5 and it is 4, it should be there. So we will have C205, this tuple will be there, then H155, this tuple will be there. We have selected. Now we have to perform. Okay, so dips1 dot rating is greater than dips dot rating, and we have to provide dips dot name. Okay, so dips dot name, we have to retrieve dips dot name from here. So what will be this? This will be salsa and salsa. Okay, it's 6:15, around 6:15. So please join on time. Just ask to join 2 minutes before time. Okay. So what will be its output? It will be salsa. So it will not be the answer. Coming to the next one, what it is telling? We have to perform dishes cross dips. From there, we have to search for these two conditions. Okay. So hmm, there may be some internet issue on your side. what I am writing, is it visible to all? Okay. Now, is it visible? Is my screen visible? Okay. Just give me some time. I'm trying to rejoin it.
Excuse me, sir. Screen is
Yeah.
not visible.
Yes, I am rejoining with it. There is some internet issue. Just
Oh, okay, okay, thank you, sir.
okay. Is it now visible? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Thanks. So, just taking too much time. Okay. So we were at point. Okay. We told that first was incorrect. Just go through one by one. Just select the brief answer. Okay, what it is telling? It is telling we have to perform dishes into dips. So if we go with dishes, so dishes and dips, just perform the Cartesian product. We have dishes dot name, dishes dot price, then dishes dot rating, then there will be dips dot name. Di I am denoting the dips, and for D it is dishes. Okay. So pasta 805, there will be all three things. Uh, okay. Hummus 155, salsa 84. So there will be too much entries there. So just I think we should go by the predicate it is giving us. Okay. So what it is telling, this is dot price should be less or equal to diff dot price. Okay, so this is dot price should be less or equal to diff dot price. Okay, this is dot price is here 800. Okay, first we have to see the diff dot price. It is 200. Then for 200 we have to select this is dot price which is lesser than it. Okay. Mm, so for 200, what will be the lesser value? It will be this one. Okay, and it is less or equal to, so these two will be there. Okay, and for hummus 150, there will be again this pasta. Okay, so what we will be left with, we will be getting this one, dishes dot price dot dips dot price from dishes cross dips. Okay, so the tuple it will provide us will be for dishes pasta 205, pasta 205 will be with cheese 205, pasta 205 will be with hummus 150, then 5, then pasta 155 will be there with hummus 155. Okay, so based upon price we have filtered out. Now we have to perform diff dot rating is greater or equal to dishes dot rating. So diff dot rating should be greater or equal to dishes dot rating. So these two are quite similar. These are equal to. Okay. So these two conditions are satisfied. We are up to here. We have to just select dips dot name. Select dips dot name. What we are getting? We are coming up with cheese, hummus, hummus. If we will deduplicate it, what we will get? We will get cheese and hummus here. Okay. So from here we have got these two B is correct. Okay. Now C1. Coming to the C option. In C option it is telling we have to first rename dips with dip, dip with dips one. Okay, we renamed it. Next, what we have to perform? We have to perform dips one dot rating is less than 4 or dips one dot price is less than or equal to 100. So there is only one thing which have this condition satisfied. So first is rating less or less than 4. It can't be satisfied here. We have dips one dot price less or equal to 100. There is only one tuple left, and we have to subtract it from dishes. So if we subtract it from dishes, there is no attribute like salsa here, so it will return all dishes relation, so it will not be the answer. Coming to the last one, so till now we have B is correct. Let's see the last option if it is correct or not. So one by one, what it is telling, we have to
Excuse me, sir.
just, yeah,
So in the C option, we have a condition ditch dot rating is less than 4.
yes,
So there will be no cells
yes,
there.
yes, yes,
So
yes, yes. There will be no attributes, sorry, no tuples returned, but there is OR operation. So we have to consider next one also now. So we will get,
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
yeah,
Okay, sir. Okay,
you
sir.
consider and I
Okay.
think, okay, yeah. So just go through this, what it is telling. We have dips1 now. From dips1 we have to select for same condition. Rating less than 4 will not return any tuple. Price less than 100 will return this one only. Now we have to subtract it from there. So what we will get? We will get these two. Okay. Now if we will subtract dips, okay, uh, you can consider, you can understand from here also, if there is some confusion, we can create dips one, sorry, dips again. Okay, name, price, rating, cheese, hummus, salsa, 200, 150, 80, 5, 5, 4. Okay, so we have to subtract this salsa from this. Okay, what we will get? We will get the these two tuples, and this will be eliminated. Now we have to perform intersection from dips. Okay, we have got this one, and dips is having these three. Intersection will provide us these two only. Okay, next we have to project dips.name from here. So dips.name will be cheese and hummus. Okay, so we are written with the right option, so answer will be B and D. Okay, I think this was also a little simple, but it was a lengthy question kind of, due to too much predicates. So this is about tuple calculus. Okay, so we have to consider the relational schema music, where composer, studio, instrument, and singer, these four are attributes. With the help of tuple relational calculus, we have to display all composers who selected violin as an instrument for their music. Okay, so what they are telling, there should be a violin as instrument. Okay, and we have to select the composers. Okay, means composer is a projection, selecting composer will be a projection operation. So project operation, what, how we perform? We perform like this. Okay, if there is a projection operation, we provide if there is a you can say relation. Okay, please join on time. There is relation, we have to project, if we want to project any attribute, so we write it like this. Okay, so from here, what, how we can write? We can write it as, if they are considering S and T, so with projection, what we write, we will write like this: T composer should be equal to S composer. And for selection, how we write it? We write it as, and then the selection, the predicate we are given with. Okay, so the predicate and as instrument, so the predicate is, the instrument should be violin. Okay, so instrument should be violin. Okay, from tuple we have to we have to select composers, so we write it like this in case of tuple relational calculus, and then the predicate. Okay, and this thing we should write for selecting the relation. Okay, so I think there is only one option, only A is correct. B is not certainly providing the projection operation, so it will not be correct. C is writing something like domain calculus, so it will be incorrect. In last, they have written the first thing right, till here it is right, but they have selected they have written the wrong statement. Okay, we have to perform it on the projected operation, so A will be correct option. Okay, now this is about domain relational calculus. We have to consider this relational schema again. So from here, okay, how we write it in, we have to select singer. Okay, so whenever we have to select any attribute, we write it like this way, the attribute name. Okay, in this case, you can see. Okay, so the attribute we are selecting will be like this, and the rest attributes should be there with the there exist clause. Okay, so how we write it, there exists some singer, hmm, from how much things are there. If this is CSIS, okay, CD, they have provided it as D. Okay, so S is there, so remain attributes will be after there exist. D I, sorry, CDI, hmm, will be in this arrow bracket. Then we have to tell about the relation. So this is expressed by uh, belongs to. Okay, and then there is some predicate where studio is equal to Motown. So studio is denoted by D. So what we will write? We will write and D should be equal to Motown. It is just a way of writing the query in a non-procedural way. So just select the option. In first, you can see there are there's CDI, but there they haven't used the braces, so this will be incorrect. There is braces, there is belong, there is there exist one, and there is and Motown, so it will be correct. In third option, there exist CDI, CDI, and studio is equal to Motown. We don't have to mention the exact name, so it will be incorrect. Then they have written CDIS whole, so it will be incorrect. Answer will be B. Okay. Next is, this is based upon the embedded SQL part. Yeah, anyone is asking something? If you aren't asking, then please close your mic. Uh, so in a C program with embedded SQL query allows user to enter their salary and designation, which are stored in variables cell and tests respectively. Please don't post it here. Okay, you have discussion forum, you can write it there if there is any. Yeah, DBMS NPTEL, but it is not official na? If there is any chat group which is official, then okay. And again, please, this is for discussion purpose, you write it in discussion. Okay, so there is sal for salary, then there is designation, then which are stored. This SQL commands return the name of those employees from this whose designation is the same as provided by user. So we have to take the designation from user. How we will take? To retrieve any kind of value from user, we write it with colon. Okay, so whenever we want to retrieve it from user, we have to write it with colon, sal, and this. Okay, now where the user designation should be same. Okay, and the salary should be less than provided by user. So these are the values. It should be less than the provided by the user, so less than this value, and should be equal to this designation what it is, what the user will provide. Okay, now coming to the options one by one. First is telling exec SQL. And then declare C as cursor, but yeah, here we have to write for. Okay, to execute SQL query we have to mention for here. Okay, so from here it is it will be a syntactical error. Now coming to next one, declare C as C cursor for select name employees. Now here what they have written, the condition is correct, but the declaration how they are using, the value is retrieved with dot, not the variable, so it will be incorrect. Next one, there is also as, so it will be incorrect. And last one you can see exec SQL to execute, then we declare cursor, then for this query, then end SQL. There is conditions are right, and the declarations are also right. So answer will be D. Okay, any comments? Okay, good. Now coming to the next question, what it is telling, we are given this entity relationship diagram. We have to check for options, and we have to get the diagram which is equivalent to it, and you just go through it and just write the answers if you know. Okay, so first one, yeah, before this just see this, we have just if we are given a diagram for entity relationship diagram, we have this relation, then we have in this kind of relations we have the notations, specific notation for each of the kind of attribute. So a1 a2 are the simple attribute. Okay, no, a1 is the simple attribute, then a2 is composed of these two attribute, so it will be composite attribute. Whenever there is multi-valued attribute, we write it as with within this curly braces, and when it is derived attribute, we just mention a braces after the name of attribute. Now just go through one by one. So here what we see, we have four attributes. First is CNAME, which is primary key, then there is location, then there is residence, then which is multi-valued, and then there is a derived attribute which is average distance. Okay, so there will be name, complex resident, all are right. Then there is the primary key attribute, CNAME, so it is wrong. CNAME is not given as primary key, it is wrong. Now, so we are left with two options. Now, location is normal attribute, simple attribute. Location is simple attribute, so it should be written like this. Then residence is the multi-valued, so it should be written as like this, not like this. So last is average residence, so derived attribute. Yeah, so A will be correct option. If there is any doubt, you can go through the PPTs. There is a specific way of these are just notations of all these kind of attributes. You can see there is a dedicated PPT on this on the lecture materials, so you can go through this. Okay. So let's come to the next one. We have to select from here which are we have to select the wrong statement from here. Okay, just go through one by one what it is telling. The schema for device entity will be device having model ID, then device sensor is having sensor name and color. Okay, so in device it is model ID is the primary key. Okay, right. If we are considering device sensor, so device sensor should not be the primary key as it is a multi-valued attribute. Okay, so this will be the wrong statement. So A is already in correct options. Now coming in coming to the next one. It is telling the schema for device entity will be device model ID and color and the device sensor with model ID and sensor name. So if it is multi-valued weak entity, so it will need the primary key of the uh, strong entity for its schema. So device sensor will have to consider sensor name with a discriminative attribute which will be the primary key of the overall schema, that is device. So this is correct, and device having this model ID and color, it is also correct. So it is correct, so it is not, it is true statement, it will not be the answer. Next, what it is telling, the dev owner will be dev owner model ID then owner ID. So if there is relationship, so relationship set will contain the primary key as the primary key of both of the relations. Okay, because it is many to many, so it will be correct. It is correct statement, it will not be the answer. The schema for owner will be owner ID name address, it is already correct, you can see it from here. So answer will be A, which is not true. Any confusion on this point? Okay, any doubts till now? Okay, I am proceeding to the next one. So we have to consider this instance. We are given SOP, there is ID, location, branch. We have to it is asking how many tuples will be returned by following relational algebra. So first we have to solve this. We have to select branch is greater than 0 in SOP. So what it will return? It will return this one, this one, this one. So Delhi is eliminated from here. Now we have to select location from here. Okay, so location will provide us what? Kolkata. Then there is Kolkata again, so it will be deduplicated, it will be removed. There will be Bangalore. Okay, now we have to perform renaming of shop and we have to multiply it. Okay, so there is shop having 4 attributes and there is the location. This query is having 2 attributes. Sorry, 2 tuples and there are 4 tuples. So you can clearly write yes. Uh, in Cartesian product, number of tuples in resulting relation will be the multiplication of these two. So 4 cross 2 it will be 8. Okay, so B is the right answer. Okay, now coming to this question, what it is telling? It is telling there are these entity relationship diagrams. Okay, so in this is actually a composite kind of entity relationship diagram which is inherited within this, and there is another single kind of entity which is uh, just related to which is having relationship with the overall this diagram. Okay, so what it is telling, first statement is primary key of schema song uh, in ARD is name and singer. So will it be correct? So here you can see it is weak entity, huh? So for weak entity
No,
we
title.
uh, please write in the chat. I'm not able to hear. So yeah, for ARD1 it is not possible. If we are taking these two as primary key, we need a strong entity key. So this will not be the answer. Title needed, yes. Then for schema for administrated by ARD2 is administrated by will having title, name and singer. So title, name and singer are good, but if it is relationship set, then we should also consider the, as it is many to many relationship, we should also consider the primary key of this attribute also. So p name should also be there, so it will be incorrect. Now coming to the C option, what it is telling, the schema for administrated by ARD2 is administrated by title, name, singer and p name. Okay, so all 4 primary attributes are there, so it should be the correct one. The last one, primary key in the schema ARD1 for song is name, singer, movie song and title, so it is totally incorrect. So answer will be C. Okay, so that is all for today. There are 10 minutes left, so I think I am just revising what I covered today in these 10 minutes. If you have any doubt regarding it, you can just comment. Okay, so in first question we were asked to perform the division, the selection, the projection, and with the help of this relational algebra we have to provide the output of this. So in lecture PPTs it was given as if there is any relation x given, then if z is having x and y, it is not AND operation. Z is having x and y here, and we perform z divided by x, we will get y. So if there are some common tuples, we have to just match it with there. In x, if x relation is the total x relation is present in this for any value of y in z relation, then we just return it as output. So you can, if you can go with this question, and you can get it better in a better way with example. So what I have done here, first I have performed simple operations. For at first I performed this selection operation for price greater than 100. Okay, so for price greater than 100 in dips, what it will return? It will return these two. Okay, now from here we are remained with these two things. Now we have to project price and rating from here. Okay, so price and rating we have to carry it out for division purpose. So what we are left with, we are left with price rating 205, 155. Next, what we have to do, we have to perform the division with dishes. Okay, so in dishes what we saw, we have to select the tuples which are having near relations. That is there in that question only, if you see. Okay, I will go slide by slide, you will see. Then okay, so we were left with these four things. Okay, now we have to select this one, and we have to just get the common things. If these two tuples are present there in this uh, relation, so what we are left with, we will select the tuples having this relation as a means having these two tuples present in there. So if we see 250 and 5, 150 and 5, so there are only two tuples having these two common tuples of resulting from this subquery. Okay, so we are now having pasta and pasta with this thing. So next what we have to do, we have to select the name from here. So we have pasta with 205, pasta is 155, and we have to select it from here. So sorry, project it. So in projection we just remove the duplicate one, we are remained with the pasta. Okay, this is the first one. In second one, it was a set of queries we have to solve. We got B and D, you can perform it easily. The third and fourth question I opted are based on the domain and tuple relational calculus. So from here we have to just write this thing, this statement. So we write it like this. For projection operation we write like this. Okay, we select the attribute we want to project, and we write it like tuples having this attribute should be equal to predicate having attribute. And for selection we just write and then this. So A was the answer. Then similarly for the domain calculus, we okay, here I write something wrong, I missed actually. Hmm? So what should I write? We have to select the singer. The singer is noted by S. From there we have to write the attributes which are remained, CDI. Then within the bracket, what we write all the four things, CDIS, all the attributes we are considering. Then belongingness sign to mention the relation, and for selection for this predicate we write it as and D is equal to Motown. Okay, so B was the correct option. Okay, in this the last option was correct. So what was the fault here? We write for first thing, and second thing is the value we take from the user, we generally take it with dot, and the variable we are considering is not having that dot. So with the help of this you can clearly find out the right query. In this you can see, okay, in box diagram you can write derived attribute as this. So sorry, so in case of derived attribute you can see, okay, so this is just a nomenclature they use in ER diagram. So you can go through the PPT which is given in week 3 lectures. There is a separate PPT which is mentioning all kind of the relation and all kind of these boxes we need to just portray this diagram. Okay, next thing is we have to uh, select the wrong statement. So here the main thing we learned about is if there is multi-value attribute, there is weak entity, we have to just append the discriminative and attribute primary key, which is model ID here. And for relationship entity, we have to consider the primary key of both of the relations what we are joining. Okay, in this it was very simple one where we have to just perform this predicate, and after this predicate we have to just uh, rename the SOP, and with this what we will get, in SOP there were four tuples, and with this statement we got two tuples. So when we will perform the uh, Cartesian product we will get 4 cross 2 means there will be 8 tuples. Okay, so and there here it was very simplest one. Yes, just we have to just take the primary keys or schemas. So for primary keys of song this is weaker one, so that's why we cannot opt it. In this one there are three things, but the fourth one is not mentioned, so that will not be the answer. Here it is mentioned, so it will be the answer. In last one we have taken the movie song relation also, that is the wrong one. Okay, so that's all from my side today. If there is any doubt, if there is any mistake by me in this section, in this session, so you can just comment on the video what we will upload uh, of this lecture. I will definitely and surely correct myself if I will be wrong. And if there is anything you want to discuss for next week, you can also comment there. Uh, so next week we will talk about week 4 content, what is covered in the NPTEL lectures. Okay, so thank you all. We are finishing it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, I am ending this call. Thanks a lot, everyone. We will meet next week.